明日のメインで競い合います。飛ばしてはバックドロップ、早くも秋山参戦布告。
She ripped down all the trees. Then she looked up at the mountaintops, they all began to freeze. The sun gave her a cold until she set it on fire. You can see it for yourself if you think that I'm a liar. God made the devil just for fun. But when he wanted the real thing, he made action come.
Ridiculous. I'm sorry.
Oh, that's all right.
It's a daunting task to try to kill a monster, not one for the weak of heart. But on this night, February 13th, 2000, that is the task that Kaoru is faced with if she wants to leave Kurikan Hall as the All-Asia Athletes Women's Champion. An impossible task for most people, but Kaoru is not most people.
Ridiculous.
This match starts with Kaoru offering a hand to the intimidating and awesome presence that is Aja Kong. Hesitantly, Aja humors this show of respect, only to be dropped on her head with a German suplex before the bell even rings. Kaoru starts this match on fire, probably aware that her only shot that she has to take down this monster is to bombard her out of the gate, hitting a suicide dive to Kong on the outside of the ring and immediately following it up with a pair of beautiful moonsaults. As Aja begins to recover, Kaoru introduces a table to this match, setting Kong on it and looking for a senton, but you can only hold a monster like Aja Kong at bay for so long. Kong is able to get out of the way, leaving Kaoru to crash disgustingly through the Japanese table from the top to the outside. And now, the beast is unleashed, beating Kaoru over the head with half of the broken table that her body just collapsed through. Kong doesn't stop, continuing to smash Kaoru over the head with the table and then a chair before taking her through the audience to inflict further damage. Aja Kong truly feels like a monster here, with the audience fleeing as she retrieves a steel gate from the venue to throw at Kaoru as payback for the stunt she pulled in the beginning, and then pile driving her on it, busting Kaoru wide open before taking her to the stands and running her the length of Kurikan Hall into the wall. Kong eventually brings her back to the ring before hitting her over the head with something. I think it could be like a toaster or a trash can, and then delivering a brainbuster. She gets a 2 count, but the beaten and bloody Kaoru defiantly bridges out of the cover to Aja's almost delight. She has a wide smile on her face as she calls for the back fist, but Kaoru is able to duck her repeated attempts. The same way a victim desperately dodges a killer's attacks in a horror film, every one of those bombs feels like it could be a potential killer, and Kaoru's panic feels very real before Kong is able to catch her and try to set her up for a suplex. But the spry Kaoru is once again able to slip out of Kong's grasp, sliding onto the apron and braining her in the head with, I believe it's like a metal trash can thing. And as Kaoru tries to go from the top to hit her with it again, Kong just punches the can itself, causing it to cascade out of the ring. But light on her feet and quick to think, Kaoru attempts a Frankensteiner, but Aja Kong is in her element now, and she just plants Kaoru with a powerbomb and goes for a cocky pin, one that Kaoru is barely able to kick out of. And for the first time, we see the monster that is Aja Kong attempt to go to the top. God knows what's running in her mind, but she's quickly cut off by an electric chair, landing Kong straight on her shoulder. and the bloody and desperate Kaoru now takes the air, attempting yet another moonsault, but the monster that is Aja Kong is easily able to get both of her feet up, catching Kaoru on the way down. Aja plays the horror movie monster role so well, an unstoppable force that is instant death if they can get their hands on you. But the quicker, spry Kaoru continues to stick and move, slip out of a backdrop, and attempt to Frankenstein her, but instead of planting her with a powerbomb this time, Kong just pushes her over, clearing her over the ropes and sending her straight to the floor with zero regard for her life or well-being. And as Kaoru begins to recover, everyone's worst nightmare comes true, and a massive and horrifying Aja Kong runs at her through the ropes for a suicide dive attempt. But Kaoru is barely able to get up the broken table in time to block Kong's horrifying offense. And in her moment of weakness, Kaoru takes advantage, hitting her again with the table and stomping it to splinter the wood before hitting her one more time. And the killer is Uzi, as Kaoru is able to take charge, throwing the same steel gate from earlier in this match, this time at Kong now, and hitting Kong over the head with anything she can find before finding another table, setting it up outside of the ring, eventually getting Kong on it, and then just relentlessly smashing her body with the broken table, desperately trying to keep her down. And she's finally able to deliver the diving senton she attempted earlier, finally weakening Kong. And once back in the ring, Kaoru attempts a moonsault with the broken table. Aja is able to avoid this, however, the faster Kaoru is able to remain a step ahead, landing on her feet, and Aja goes for a killing blow, the brutal back fist, similar to how she punched through a steel chair earlier, but this time, the monster's weakness is exposed. As Aja attempts a backfist, Kaoru is able to block it with the table, wounding the previously invincible Aja Kong for the first real time in this match. The glowing red weak point is exposed, and Kaoru mercilessly slices the arm of Kong with the splintered wood, cutting her forearm wide open, bleeding onto the canvas, and the very impossible task becomes so much more real for Kaoru. If it bleeds, you can kill it. And she locks in a Fujiwara armbar, and Kong's horrifying screams, like a wounded animal, ring out throughout Korakuen Hall. But Kaoru doesn't let up, desperately going for the kill, cutting up Kong's arm, and hitting the same table-assisted moonsault she attempted earlier, only this time directly onto the injured arm. She's able to hit her with her killing blow, her deadly back fist, knocking Kaoru out cold, but in doing so, further injuring her own arm. Not able to follow up for the pinfall, she writhes around in pain as Kaoru lies bloody and broken in the foreground. Both women are slowly able to get back to their feet. Like a wild animal that doesn't know when their leg is broken, Aja attempts the back fist again, but Kaoru, now expecting it, is able to counter it with a disgusting armbar on Kong. And the beast that is Aja Kong desperately tries to escape, barely getting to the ropes again. And Kaoru, now filled with violent passion of her own, tries to go for a Northern Lights bomb. But you can only avoid the killer for so long, and Kong catches Kaoru with a brutal Saito suplex on the top of her head. And Aja now goes to the top to attempt to end Kaoru, but Kaoru is able to catch her again, delivering backhands to Kong's face, stunning her enough for Kaoru to deliver a killing blow of her own. A sit-out Northern Lights bomb, landing Kong on her skull, but Kong, a monster through and through, is able to get her shoulder up for the 2 count. She attempts to go for it again, but she gave Aja too much time to recover, hitting a brutal blow, sending Kaoru back. Still fast on her feet, she attempts and successfully executes the Frankensteiner she had tried twice earlier, but Aja is immediately able to kick out. She again tries to run at Kong, but is caught with a brutal back fist that Kong barely manages to throw. Kaoru is barely able to kick out, but the enraged Kong finally has her prey in her hands and quickly gets Kaoru to the top for an avalanche air raid crash. But the heart of the badass Kaoru is able to stay in it, once again barely kicking out at 2. Kong finally has her where she wants her though, placing the wooden board on her body and going for a splash, but Kaoru was able to stay one step ahead, this time getting out of the way of the splash and blocking another backhand from Kong with the board, completely immobilizing the beast and delivering a brutal close fist to her face to get another close 2 count. Kaoru now has Kong where she wants her, attempting to essentially dismember and amputate Kong's arm, but Kong is able to move and catch Kaoru with a disgusting soccer kick back fist combo, and somehow the spirit left in her body finds a way to barely stay alive, kicking out once again at the count of 2, using up all of what she had left. Kong, though, is ready, removing her glove and hitting another disgusting bare fist spinning backhand to finally put an end to her victim. It was no easy task though, and Aja lays broken and bloody, licking her wounds. Some try, and some put up a good fight, but at the end of the day, it proves to be an impossible task to kill the monster, Aja Kong.
Ridiculous.
Thank you for watching this video. If you have any suggestions for matches you think I should check out, then put them in the comments below, or you can send them to me on Twitter, where I am semi-active, mostly just talking about how excited I am for the future of DPW. If you want to watch more, I have a series talking about the encounters between the Violent and the Horsemen, which I'll try to remember to link below. Share this video, please, on Twitter, TikTok, Facebook, whatever new social media the kids have invented, whatever the fucking X is, or just show it to your friends who like wrestling. Sharing it does so much to help the channel, as evidenced by the Horsemen, as do likes and subscribes. If you have the time, please drop those. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time.